Hey, in our last video, we finalized our layout using CSS grids. So this is what our site looks like so far. It's looking pretty good. Now, we do have one issue though, and it's the site is looking pretty good in mobile, but it looks exactly the same in desktop. So we haven't really set that up yet. So we can do that by using the responsive utility classes that Tailwind has. So let's go over to Tailwind and kind of see how they set everything up. So Tailwind has a set of responsive design utility classes. They break it up into about 4 or 5 different breakpoints. As mentioned before, they use a mobile first approach. So their default is for the smallest screen. And if you want to override it for the larger, you add the breakpoints prefix and then utility class after that. So in this example, you'll see that this gives it a red background and it overrides it with on the small screen prefix, and then it makes it green. This makes it. So red as default and green as small, blue as medium, pink, magenta as large, and teal as extra large. So that's kind of the gist of it. That's how you kind of apply these responsive utility classes or to override them on different breakpoints. So let's go over and see how we can apply to our website. So our site looks like this. Now let's go over here. Our site looks like this on desktop, and we kind of want it to look like this. So this is a screenshot of the website. So we have like a full screen for our hero section, a 2-column for our card section, and kind of a 5-6 column for our footer here. So we'll need to use these utility classes to adjust these things. So let's take a look at that. So this section is a little bit longer than, or the longest of any of this section, so I might break it up into 2 parts. So I'm going to focus on the hero and the card first and see how we do with time. Okay, so let's look at hero. So we got the hero here. I have it in the iPad landscape. So let's in hero here. So let's adjust this so it's full screen. So LG H screen. And we have it as flex column. So we want it back to flex row. And it should push this over here. Okay. So now we want it to be justified center. So LG, no, not justified center, aligned our items center. And that should push it down to the bottom here, or centered here. Okay, so now I want to add more padding. So let's do a padding 20, and I want the width of it to be LG width half. So I want it to be 50% of the width. Yeah, that looks all right. Now I want to adjust the text size here. So I think on LG, we have text 5, and on extra large, text -6. I mean XL here. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that looks good. That's what it looks like on medium. So that's what it looks like back to default and what we just changed it to. So that looks pretty good. And I think that's it for the hero. So that wasn't too bad. Now with just a couple of utility classes changes, we got a completely kind of different look. Okay, so the card is a little bit more complicated, I think. So let's take a look at that. So we want this section. So we have here, so it's 4 with 2 and 2. centered. So let's adjust this to be 4. Oh, okay, first, I think, yeah, on this medium screen, I got a couple changes I want to make. So here, I want it to be on MD12, padding 12. And LG, I want it back to padding none. So I want to add some padding on this medium screen here. So that's good. And on the large screen, I want it back flush. So here, since I adjust the padding here, I want to adjust it here as well. So MD, padding bottom 12, and LG, padding bottom 0. So on large screen, on the medium screen, I want the padding to be the same as here, and on large, I want it flush back. So now it's adjusted back. I also want, so we'll take, let's adjust this. So on this grid, so on LG, you want the grid to be grid calls to. Okay, that looks all right. Now we want to adjust these two. So we want these two. LG grids call to. And that should shift it. Okay. Now we want to get rid of this margin here and the margin, negative top margin that got shifted there. So let's do that. So LG MX0, LG MT0. And that should shift it. Okay, cool. Well, that's good. We also want to remove the rounded corners. So LG rounded none. We also want to make this container a flex because we want this content to be centered in the middle. So let's make it flex. Oops. LG flex, LG justified center, and LG items center. Okay, so before I save, we also need to add this into a wrapper because otherwise it's going to do this. It's going to rearrange all of our content there. And did I add an extra? Yeah. For some reason this div appeared. So I'll save that. So what we need to do is put our container here into this content into a div. So we need a div, and we need a div here. Save both of those. And now our content should be back to normal. And we need to move this to the left. So if we do that, LG justify start. That should push to the left. Okay, so that's all right. Now, I don't like how the heights of these are kind of not the same, so I want to give some consistency there. So let's add some classes here. So I want class equals with full height auto as some default classes, and this one LG min height of 2/3 and LG min height of full. I'm going to copy that, save that first, just to see what that looks like. Okay, so now we have this image here, and it's stretched. So the same thing that we did with our hero image, we're going to do the object cover, and that should fix that. It's waiting. Yep, there we go. And I want to apply those same kind of min-height classes to this. So I'm going to add that to here. Yep, there we go. It's just taking a little bit of time to load. And I need this to be pushed over there. So we can do that by using this order class. So on this class equals LG order class. Okay, that looks good. Now let's take a look at our text here. So let's do these. Oops. So we need LG text XL, XL text 2XL. Now on this one, LG text 4XL and XL text 6XL. Save that, and both textures should, yep, there we go. Now looks pretty good, I think. Let's take a look at it in full. So here's our hero, and this is our card. Now I want to also add some spacing here, or minimum or maximum width here. So I want to add for our wrapper, because it looks good on medium or large screens, but on extra large, like over here, I didn't like how it goes too far here as far as that. So let's do XL with 3/4 on 12. Yeah, 75%. I could probably use 3/4 as well. Let's try that. Yeah, kind of shifted over. Okay. And I also didn't like it how, like, if I don't have a width here, this would be adjusted as well. So I want to keep it consistent with how that looks as well. Oops. But since this is pushed all the way, then it keeps it like that anyways. But on the larger screens, if it doesn't wrap on 2 lines, then it won't do it. Okay, I think that's everything for these 2 sections. I think I'm going to stop here and we'll continue on in the next video.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the content so far. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave a comment down below. To stay updated with the latest content from the channel, you can subscribe by clicking right here in the middle.